God did in me this week was He taught me to serve more freely, I guess, and to not take what I have for granted, because not everyone has all the luxuries I do, I suppose. How I personally served was last year. I was a VBS crew leader, and there's a boy in my crew named Dane, and I hung out with, he was 7 at the time. I hung out with him a lot. Yeah, and then this year, I got to hang out with him a lot. We played football together, just today, and we played games together in VBS, and it was pretty cool, just seeing him again.
What I really liked on this trip was that even though these people didn't have as much as we had, they worshiped more. Their worship was more powerful than we normally would do it. So like knowing that they don't have as much as we have and worshiping God with all their heart makes us really look at how we worship God and with all the stuff that we have.
Something really awesome that happened on the trip is one night we had like this impromptu night where people shared their testimonies, and one of the girls shared their testimony, and it really reminded me that I should not judge people because I don't know what they're going through. Like, a lot of people go through really hard things or have, they've gone through hard things in their past, and so I just need to, not be judgmental because I don't know their story.
My favorite part of this week was probably our testimony sharing. Last night, a few of us shared our testimonies, and it was really emotional for a lot of us. There's a lot of hugging and crying and stuff that went on, and it was a really good night, and we really felt the presence of God there. This week, I felt that my faith really went up a lot in worship. It was my first time that I raised my hand up when singing, and I really got into it and stuff, and I was feeling really good. And personally, what I did to serve Navajo Mountain was I helped a lot with the concrete and building a basketball court. It took us about 3 days, but it was really hard work, but finally we got it done, and now we can play on it and stuff, so that's pretty cool.
But, I felt like God did a lot of things this week. I felt like He actually talked to me, and, He told me to do something that I was really afraid to do, that I was scared, my struggles and the way I live. And, I felt Him saying, you should, this is the end, stop, just let it go, just be who you are and not be two different people as I used to be. Which, today I woke up, way better. Woke up like a relief.
When I was younger, I would struggle by myself because I never liked myself. And God spoke to me and said that I was precious in His eyes and that I'm worth more than what I think I am. And I was really happy to hear that from God.
I enjoyed the trip, helping out the kids and teaching them more about God and stuff. It was really awesome.
I'm really glad I went on this trip.
So the reason I went on this trip this year was because, like Gifty, I went last year and I had a lot of fun, and I felt like I really made a difference. Like I was actually being productive and doing things. I wanted to take my relationship with God kind of to the next level, because I know that when I'm not around people from the mission trip and I'm not around people here, I feel like sometimes I kind of slip away from God, and I didn't want that to happen again. I also learned a lot about having faith, and not just in God, but in other people too, because we went down into a canyon by a bunch of water, and we had to drive down part of the way, and I was almost crying on the way down. I was so scared. And then, I kind of learned after the fact, when we were driving back up, it's not that big of a deal, because the people that are driving me are going to take care of me, and God's going to take care of me, and I don't need to worry. I worry about things so much, and I shouldn't, because I know God is there for me.
One of my favorite parts of the week was going to Hawkeye and getting to see God's creation and just having quiet time after that in the ruins. And something that God personally did in me was that He helped me open up to my friends and talk to them about my story.
Throughout this missions trip, I definitely became closer to God. In Shiprock, New Mexico, which was I think our second stop, we had a service at the church and it was absolutely fantastic. The worship there was incredible and it definitely drew me closer to God, and it was like a turning point for my relationship with God, which was awesome to see. I hope that my relationship with God continues to grow, and I hope that I can also go on more missions trips in the future.